I'm going to let Nicole kick it off to talk about the financial parts. You're on live.
All right, thank you. Well, good morning. It is still morning, right? Thank you for coming this morning and to listen to the presentation. Y'all forgive me, I think I'm having some allergy issues, so if I start coughing or whatever, I apologize in advance. So we are on the ballot for November the 5th, it's election day. We are issue number 8, and that's number 8 in both Delaware and Franklin counties. You will see 2 questions on the ballot, but 1 vote. So it's 2 separate issues. It's a combined issue, a 1.95 mil bond issue, which will allow us to pay for things for facilities and different projects around the district. It will generate $103 million for the district. The other portion of that is a 5.9 mil operating levy, so that would go towards the general operations of the school district. And Dr. Kellogg will give some specific information later in the presentation about what those things what everything will pay for. The cost to homeowners is $5.69 per month for $100,000 of property value. So when we talk about property value, we're talking about the market value of your home as determined by the county auditor. So if you go to the county auditor's website and you look up your property, you look up your name and your address, it'll pull up your property and you'll see 2 different values. You'll see a property or market value, and you'll see an assessed or taxable value. So we're talking about the property market value as determined by the county auditor. Not Zillow, so I think that's really important. So if you look at, you just Google your address and see what Zillow says, it will be different than what the county auditor has value. So you need to look at the county auditor's office. So the bond costs are $5.69 per month per $100,000 of property value. That will first appear on the tax bill in calendar year 2020. The operating portion of this issue has been delayed by 1-year collection. So what that means is it will be assessed in calendar year 2020, but it will first appear on your tax bill in calendar year 2021. And it's $17.20 per month. So the total cost, once both of those go into effect, would be $22.89 per month per $100,000 of property value. The district's not asked you for new money from taxpayers since 2012. It's been 7 years since we were last on the ballot for a new tax levy. The 2012 levy was originally for a 5-year period. In 2016, the district came back to voters because that levy was expiring and asked them to replace it for a permanent period of time. So it's now a continuing levy. The voters approved that. So that will continue on. But the last time we asked voters for new money was during the 2012. It was an emergency levy for 6.71 mils. The district has been able to maintain a strong financial position. In 2012, the last time we passed new money was right here. So you can see this graph shows your expenditures in red, the revenue in green, and then this is the district's fund balance. So the blue area here, the fiscal year by actuals for each fiscal year. In 2012, we were originally anticipating to be a deficit spending around 2014, 2015. We've since been able to stretch that to 2021. And that's through a lot of things. The district has worked very hard to stretch its resources and to allocate resources in such a way that we're able to build programs and do what's best for the school district, but being able to stay off the ballot at the same time. So what we're looking at, current projections show that without any new operating funds, we would begin deficit spending in fiscal year 2021, and the fund balance quickly depletes as that happens. So this will allow us to avoid deficit spending to continue the great programs that we have in school. We get a lot of questions about why do schools always need to go back to taxpayers and ask them for more money. The way property taxes in Ohio work is, thanks to House Bill 920, was approved by the legislature in 1976. What it does is, as property values increase, tax rates decrease, which means that what the district receives generally stays the same. So A levy that was passed and generates $3 million a year for the district 10 years ago, today still only generates approximately $3 million a year for the district. So it protects property owners from inflationary increases as property values rise, but it also prevents the district from receiving additional income as we see inflationary increases in the cost of doing business. The last time we asked voters for new money in 2012 after we passed the last emergency levy, residential property tax rates in the district were collecting at 59.03 mils. Today, those rates collect at 53.24 mils. And so that's a reduction of 5.79 mils due to the reduction factor. The other thing we like to talk about is the homestead exemption. So the state of Ohio has a program, if you're not familiar with it. It allows low-income and senior citizens and disabled residents to receive an exemption of $25,000 of their property value. It's a program that you can apply through the county auditor's office. The rules changed for that exemption around 2014, 2015. If you were eligible for the homestead exemption prior to that time, you're still eligible for the homestead exemption today. So the people who were eligible at the time were grandfathered in under the new rules. So I think that's all I have. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kellogg. If you have any questions you can think of, please write down on your cards. We'll be able to keep track of the questions that we have and we'll answer them in the presentation.
Thanks, Nicole. Appreciate it. So Nicole's talked about the financial side, and someone talk a little bit more about programming and what the intended use of the money is. There's really, the easiest way to remember this is three big buckets of components to this plan. It's really about space for kids, safe for kids, and success for kids. All of the pieces we're going to talk about, the specifics, fall underneath that. Those are the three big buckets. You'll see that as I go through, and you can see that in the literature as you look at the various strategies that we're trying to fund here. That'll make some sense. So a big part of our district is looking at growth and making sure we maintain staffing levels. That's on the operational side. We have, when we talk a little bit here about the enrollment, when we have increasing enrollment, and that requires additional staff and resources for our classrooms. We want to make sure we have the resources for our teachers, make sure our kids are successful in those classrooms. We want to make sure we maintain class sizes that are acceptable for our community, for our kids. Classroom spaces are critical to student success and teacher success. This is Point View Elementary. This is actually 3 classes in Point View Elementary. This building has had no interior walls. So you can imagine what this is like on, for example, state testing day. It's very confusing, very difficult for the children, a lot of distractions. We have since then used resources that we currently have and have already done renovations inside of Point View. So that's not part of the package. We have another building, Amherst Elementary, some of you may be familiar with, who similarly has no interior wall. So that was Point View back then. That's a classroom in Point View today. Again, we did this using our own current resources without having to go to taxpayers. You see, not only have we added the walls and the color and the better furniture, but we've cut in windows for more natural light. These are components that people need in their spaces. So that's a big part of this, is making sure our learning environments are right for kids. This is our big pressure point. This is our enrollment growth. Since 2003, right here, which was the last time the district asked for more money for buildings, this is when Westerville Central and Faust and those buildings were completed. That was the last time we asked for money for buildings. Since then, we've grown 1,300 students. Our enrollment projection, we had a dip here. This dip is aligned with the time period in which the district was in financial difficulty. We actually had people coming out of the district and lost enrollment. Since then, we've been on the climb. We've been adding. We're projecting another 1,300 kids in the next 10 years. We're at an all-time enrollment high today of about 15,500 kids across our middle school building. So this is a big pressure point, because not only is this about space, that's 2,600 kids, we need classrooms for them, but it's also the resources and staff we need to teach those kids. That's a big pressure point for us. Part of the bond issue is to look at infrastructure in some of our aging buildings. We're a large district with a large history. Our average building is aged 55. The bond issue component of this, the capital improvement component of this, is intended to address infrastructure needs at our oldest buildings, and I'll talk about those a little bit. But there are a lot of components. So these are large structures. They have large components, like our home. When you bought a house, someone did a condition assessment for you. You had an appraisal done and you had a condition assessment done before you bought the house. And in that report, they talked to you about the various components of the house and when they might need to be upgraded. So for example, if your house is 20 or 25 years old, you're looking at a roof in the near future or an HVAC system. You may need electrical upgrades. So those are the same things, but to scale, that we have across our many buildings in the district. We want to take care of those components. Within the bond issue, the capital improvement components of this, 3 of the buildings that we're addressing that are older. This is Amherst Elementary, which is 50 years old. Like Point View, it has no interior walls. So we want to go in, add those interior walls, add some small group instruction spaces, and make sure the classroom sizes are adequate for our kids. So this building would get renovations, including infrastructure needs and a little bit of additional space. This is Whittier, which is 67 years old. It needs a facelift. It needs a little additional space when we do that facelift to make sure classroom sizes are appropriate, and needs some safety upgrades. This is Hawthorne Elementary down in Monroe Park. It's 62 years old. It needs a facelift. It needs some infrastructure needs. It doesn't need any additional space because right now that building houses 770 kids. It's bigger than Glendon Middle School. It's actually bigger than most high schools in Ohio. It's a very, very large elementary school building. So these 3 are major parts of that capital improvement, that $1.95 million bond issue. 3 other buildings that will be addressed in that capital improvement component are Emerson, Handy, and Longfellow. 3 of our oldest buildings, our heritage buildings in this district. It's a big part of our history. In this case, all we were looking for is additional dollars to address infrastructure needs that need to happen in the next 5 years. So as we look at our facilities condition assessment, look at the next 5 years worth of work, that's what we want to fund through this bond issue to take care of those pieces. Nothing fancy here, no additional spaces, nothing new going on there. This is all the uncool stuff that just needs to be done. I mentioned safety as one of the 3 S's, and this is a big part of this package, or a portion of this package. Within that safety component, one of the areas we want to address in all of our buildings, is the entryways. Currently, only 2 of our buildings have the kind of entryways we want. Most of them function like this. We have door buzzer systems in all of our buildings, so during school hours, those front doors are locked. They're in a buzzer, and you're greeted, and you're asked to come in the building. But when you are buzzed in, you're right into the building in all but 2 of our buildings. The other 22, when you buzz in, you have access to classrooms and students. It's a safety concern. What we want to do is make sure all of our buildings, which Central and Point View have this system, when you buzz in, you have to go to the office. So if you've never been in Central, when you're buzzed into the front doors of Central, you can't get into the main part of the building. You have to go in here. You actually have to be buzzed in to go to the office. Then you go through our visitor management system. We have a visitor management system so we can have an idea of who's coming in our buildings. Only Point View, which was recently renovated, and Central, which is our newest building, are designed like that. Some of the buildings are easy. Alcott, Faust, those would be easy changes. Some of them would be more challenging. Charrington would be one. Whittier would be one. Genoa Middle School would be one. They're going to be a little more challenging to get that entry rate correct, but we'll get it. So that's the safety component as well as some other pieces. And then the third major part of the bond issue, capital improvement to address our growth going forward, is 2 new buildings. This is down by Minerva Park, south part of the district. This is Hawthorne Elementary School that I mentioned has 770 elementary school kids. This is the old Minerva Park Golf Course, which is now an MI subdivision. We own this property right here. It's 14 acres, so we don't have to purchase any. This is an appropriate site for a new middle school, which is part of what this bond package calls for, is a new middle school. Currently, we have 4 middle schools. 3 of them are close to 1,000 students. We're at 97% capacity at our middle schools. We're past the point where just moving kids from one building to the other is going to help us. This is 14 acres we own on that old Minerva Park Golf Course on the northeast section of that. When MI came in to build this subdivision, we gave them this access road here, which they prettied up for us, and in exchange they give us this 14 plus acres here in Minerva Park, which would be a site for a new elementary school. This would be a 600 student elementary school. This would be 800 student middle school. That'll allow us to relieve capacity, relieve some of the overcrowding in our middle schools and elementary schools across the district. The other, and the property is paid for, so that's saved taxpayer money. We don't have to buy anything for that. The best part of this is location. If you understand our school district, our boundaries are bigger than the city of Westerville. We actually, if you use Cleveland Avenue, Morse Road, Little Turtle, and 270, got that box in your head, that's all of us. We have 6,000 students who attend our schools from that region. And this is about the only neighborhood school they have. One of the high values in our community, whenever we do redistricting, is neighborhood schools. People like, particularly for elementary, middle school, people like the idea of being a couple blocks away from their elementary school. Right now, from this south end of the district, we are transporting many of our students from southernmost regions of the district to north of 270 because we don't have any buildings. This will give us 2 buildings in the south end, relieve overcrowding in some of our other buildings, and add value to our community that more of our kids will be attending neighborhood schools. That's a big part of that. And we own the property. This is Westerville South. This project actually isn't in the bond package because we funded this with current resources. This is a $37 million renovation to Westerville South High School. Westerville South High School was built in 1960. Currently houses 1,600 students, and it's a little crowded. It's a little tight on space, and it's old and needs some upgrades. Most of the money for South is for just infrastructure upgrades, bathrooms, plumbing, those components that really need to be done. And then we'll add some space to it. So what we're currently doing to add space, this is the auxiliary gym, which is being converted to 20 classrooms. Since we're taking the auxiliary gym, we are going to take the current gym, make that the auxiliary gym, and we're adding a new gym on the back side of Westerville South High School, so we'll still have 2 gyms. Once these 20 classrooms are done, they'll serve as swing space so we can go into all the other classrooms in that building and upgrade them. Fix up the HVAC systems, the lighting, and just spruce them up that way they need to be done since that building is that old. So that project is underway, and that was funded using dollars that the board had available to it already at $37 million. New high school, I would tell you, is about $60 million plus. So this is a cost saving. A lot of people have asked, where did this all come from? We've been working on our facilities plan for over 2 years. We had, in the fall of 17, a community group come together and make some recommendations. Based on those recommendations, we've been out to the community for the last 2 years getting feedback through a couple different resources. And then the final product that's on the ballot for that 1.95 million represents community input into that planning. Our strategic plan, which was developed the fall that came in 14, and then we did it in 17, had a lot of community input as well. Everything we're doing in our school district, I can draw a direct line back to where community members who participated said they want us to be safety, all-day kindergarten, technology, coursework, it's all built into there. Some of the high points from what this package does for us: increases the number of neighborhood schools we have for our kids, make sure we have safety upgrades to make sure our kids and staff are safe, make sure we continue implementing the programs we have in place already for our kids. That's the success side. Make sure that the equipment within our buildings is safe, the technology setup we need to have in the 21st century for our kids, and make sure that we have resources and staffing to meet with our growing enrollment demand as we move forward. So that's the total package. Did I miss anything? Great. So if you have questions, you want to put them on the card and just hand them to one of our folks.